Oh, hello. Welcome. How are we, guys? Hello, UK. I'm George. I'm going to be your host today, and welcome to Sydney Melbourne Touring live screen, our first live screen here on the beautiful Phillip Island. Stop it. It is
George is,
live.
George
I'm
is
getting
getting
prompted.
instructions.
We've been live streaming all day today, all across the world, ladies and gentlemen, and we've left the best for last for the UK. As you can see behind me, it's a little bit dark. We're on a beautiful balcony at the beautiful North Pier Hotel here on Cowes at Phillip Island. Well, we had some wonderful live feeds. Today we've went across to North America, we went across to Southeast Asia, we just did Europe an hour ago, and now we're right here. And as you can see, this is the backdrop we have. And, well, consider it is a Sydney-Melbourne touring route live stream. We'll introduce the main man himself. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Paul Cooper.
Hey,
Yay.
George, how you going?
Good, Paul.
Yeah,
Paul.
that view's pretty magic behind us now, isn't it?
It is, but it's so nice, so lovely. Everyone's out at the Penguins right now, so that's why we're talking to you. So tell us, what is Sydney-Melbourne Touring?
Well, Sydney Melbourne Touring, I think most people in the UK know what Sydney Melbourne Touring is all about. It's just such a great to have so many people from the UK joining us, especially Jim. Jim's online. Jim's a big fan of ours up there in Scotland.
Awesome.
So it's terrific to have Jim watching the show, and hopefully many more across the UK. Don't forget there is a little chat box there, so if you click the little chat button on the right hand side of your screen, you just log in, put a name on there, and then you can chat to us live, and hopefully we'll see you chat and we can answer your questions. Just don't make them too difficult for us. Anyway, back to Sydney Melbourne Touring.
Yes.
For those who don't know, well, we've got two great drives, George. There's the Sydney Melbourne Coastal Drive and also the Sydney Melbourne Heritage Drive. So the inland route or the coastal route, great road trips, great way to see regional Australia, George.
It is a great way to see regional Australia. And what are the great things you can do here on Phillip Island?
Oh, well, I'm so glad you asked, because there's so many things you can do here on Phillip Island. First and foremost, it's my home of the past 20 years, and probably, maybe less than 5 minutes walk from my place is Phillip Island Helicopters, George. And this is a fantastic way to see Phillip Island from the air. Yep. You can see there they've got a great fleet of choppers, and when you get up and see the beautiful beaches and the various estates and the bridge there connecting Phillip Island to the main, look at the colour of the water there, and that big sandbar there's a great place to take young ones to swim, and even snorkeling and seeing all of the fish there, particularly the flatheads, is pretty amazing. You can fly out over Churchill Island, over the Phillip Island Bridge there, so it really is a fantastic way to see the destination from the air in Phillip Island Helicopters. And just behind them, George, is another great attraction. It's the National Vietnam Veterans Museum.
I've heard about this.
It's awesome.
Yes.
It's just behind Phillip Island Helicopters. This is just doing a flyover now. And inside the building, you've got this great collection of memorabilia from the Vietnam War. And it started with a one-man show when John Metzvin travelled around Australia with a four-wheel drive and a van behind it, showing, various memorabilia from those horrible days in Vietnam. And it just sort of, the interest grew and grew and grew, and all of a sudden they said, why don't we do a permanent memorial and a permanent exhibition and tell all the stories that need to be told. And this continues to grow, and they've got some funding in place to hopefully double the size again, George. So watch this space. It's a great exhibition.
Yes, and we're going to also find out more amazing attractions here on Phillip Island a little bit later on. You mentioned you live 5 minutes away from the helicopters. You also live 5 minutes away from Woolamai Beach, and Woolamai Beach, guys, and I'm letting you know, is that I think it's my personal best beach in the world. It's a beautiful surf beach, and it's a beautiful beach just to have a bit of a stroll. So that's definitely something to see.
George, I must say I was actually in the Woolamai Beach 2 days ago, because it's in the the high 20s, early 30s here. So I hope the weather in the UK is not going too bad. But gee, we're having a great summer. I mean, we're well into March now, and it's still beautiful weather.
Yeah. Well, also tell us about the accommodation here in Phillip Island.
Well, we've got so much accommodation, I can't cover it all, and Pauline from Destination Phillip Island will talk a little bit more about it shortly. But some of the Sydney Melbourne touring partners that we have on Phillip Island, there's some great ones to choose from. One of them is the Ramada. Now, the Ramada is just outside of the town of Cowes, and they have this particular website where you can go there, images.wyndham.com I can't quite read the lettering from here on the screen, but you can see there you're looking at the pool and the play areas. If you want to look in one of the accommodation, like a 3-bedroom cottage, for example, you just scroll down to a 2-bedroom cottage even, and you can sort of zoom in and out, turn left and right, and get a real feel for the whole resort. So it's a really terrific way to see it. So that is the Ramada. And George, I believe you stayed at the Ramada.
I stayed there last night, had a brilliant time, and enjoyed waking up with the chirping of the birds, and it was really nice.
Yeah, it's
Very
lovely,
clean.
lovely. And it's, like I said, it's just outside of the town of Cowes, but you can easily walk along the footpath straight into town if you wanted to walk to one of the restaurants or so forth. Or if you wanted to be in a little bit closer, you could also check out the Phillip Island apartments. Now, these are beautiful, fully self-contained apartments. You can see the lovely pool there. And they've got, like 2 and 3 bedroom. As I said, fully self-contained. You can see, George, they are very comfortable. And if you're looking for an extended stay, it's another great location where you can stay and walking distance to all the shops and restaurants.
It looks very spacious.
The area as
Very
well.
spacious. Yep.
And then when it comes to bed and breakfast style properties,
Oh
this
my
one
God.
would be my pick, George. This is Oak Tree. Now, this place is just gorgeous. There's 4 individual accommodation cottages that you can stay in of various sizes, but they are all individually appointed. I mean, check this out. The way it's furnished and put together by Sue and Anthony Webber, it just looks absolutely beautiful. And we've had a lot of agents actually stay at Oak Tree, and they just say, the only thing they didn't like about it is when they had to check out and leave, George. They just wanted to settle in and stay. It really is beautiful accommodation. And I guess finally, from an accommodation point of view, we talk about the wonderful camper vans that we have coming down the drive all the time.
Yeah.
Brits and Maui in particular, great partners of Sydney Melbourne Touring at THL. This is where you put your camper on Phillip Island. This is the Cowes Caravan Park, and basically you're right on the beach there. They've also got accommodation like the fully self-contained cabins on the park as well, but given so many from the UK come and visit us in a camper van, imagine parking there, George. You just walk out and
Can't
let your
get
feet.
better than that.
And you hear the waves at night. Just it's a bay beach, not a surf beach. That's not really loud. But you just hear that trickling of the water coming in. And if that doesn't soothe you to sleep, I don't know what will.
No, absolutely not. And one thing I didn't mention before is it's from Melbourne. It's only an hour and a half to come here. It's either self-drive or a tour company. But that experience by the water is definitely a must. You're not short of options, I can guarantee that. So what else does the island offer?
Oh, look, the island just offers so much. As I said before, it's my home. I live at Cape Woolamai. And I'm not going to steal the thunder of the people coming up talking about various attractions of the island, but I will talk about the walking tracks and trails because they are awesome. Cape Woolamai, where I live, is the highest point of Phillip Island. It's about, I think is it 40 metres or 400 metres? I'm not so good with that sort of stuff. 400, which is really small by, UK European standards in terms of altitude. It's nothing like Ben Nevis up there in Scotland. G'day, Jim. But it's a great walk to go out and do and look at the pinnacles and those sorts of things. And then you've got Swan Lake, and you've got the Osmond Roberts Reserve, you've got the real wetlands, and around these places you can just do these beautiful walks. And the Phillip Island Nature Parks have made all of these great walking tracks, trails and bridges over the wetlands and walking platforms and so forth. And the amount of kidneys I've seen over the years, I've even had agents. I had some agents down one day going for a walk down the real wetlands. We saw this echidna, and as soon as we walked past, one of the agents said, "Yeah, that was really good. You can take his batteries out now." But batteries not included, George. The wildlife is just awesome on Phillip Island.
Mate, I tell you what, I've got to stop you right now because your excitement is showing across, and I've got to calm you down because we've got other people to interview.
Okay.
But Paul, thank you very much. Give Paul a round of applause.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Well done, Paul.
Thank you.
It is live stream, so we're going to move across, and we're going to introduce you to the main man here on Phillip Island as well. He's the main man from the Penguin Parade, Steve Peppard.
Oh, g'day, George. How are you,
G'day,
mate?
Steve.
Nice
How
to
are
see
we?
you.
Good to see you, and it's great to be here on the
Oh,
island.
it's
Your
an
wood
amazing evening. The
neck of the
Penguins
woods.
will be coming in. Unfortunately, we couldn't do this from the Penguin Parade, which would have been amazing. But they'll be
We
coming
can
in
kind of
now.
hear him. I can hear him a little bit. Yeah, back in the back. But one of the great things about Phillip Island, and of course you guys in the UK will be booking lots of penguin trips and self drives down to Phillip Island to see the penguin because it is a natural wonder here in Australia. One of the big things that happening this year that I've discovered is that you're opening up a new visitor centre, and it's going to be spectacular. Tell us about it. Yeah.
It's amazing, George. So we're very fortunate the government gave us some money. As a not-for-profit, self-funded organisation, they occasionally give us a bit of money, and so we've launched. We're launching this centre in July. $58 million visitor centre. It's roughly about double the size of our current centre. And the good thing for especially European markets and UK markets to know is that we're not increasing the capacity of the parade, but we're just going to make it a much more pleasant experience. About 5,000 square metres in size, or 54,000 square feet. But one of the great things is around 20,000 feet of interpretation and education areas. So, look, I know in the UK the guided ranger tours are really popular. Currently, they meet in the middle of the centre, and we're going to have our own education wing where these, one ranger to 10 packs tours can meet and talk. So in privacy and in a much more intimate setting. A 300-seat a la carte restaurant with glass walls, George. The penguins will be running around outside eventually.
Amazing.
100-seat cafe, 100-seat theatre, and but more importantly, we're going to rip up the old building and the coach car park. That's all going to happen when the new centre opens, and that'll actually create a habitat for about an extra 1,400 penguins. So that'll take us close up to around 34,000 little penguins on the island, which is pretty amazing, and they are a very cute little animal, George, as you know.
You have
a bit like me.
Yes, and you've created the most ultimate visitor experience and the most ultimate natural wonder in the world right here on Phillip Island, Peps. Now, the viewing options, yes. Yeah. The viewing options.
It's one of those things, George. You're always talking to agents about viewing options because it's important to select the right spot for your clients. And as you can see from here, we have quite a few different options. The general viewing area, it can get pretty busy in there, and it's not really for a UK customer. It's not somewhere where we would push. So we generally start UK markets at around the Penguins Plus, which is a maximum 300 packs capacity. And to give you an idea of difference in price, George, about 10 quid from general viewing to Penguins Plus. So very little money.
Nothing,
a lot closer to the Penguins. Directly below, we have the underground viewing, which is an amazing spot. You're out of the weather. It's 70 packs maximum, about another 10 quid or so. And then we have our guided ranger tour. So we have the guided ranger, the VIP, and the ultimate tour that goes off to a completely isolated beach. There's a maximum 10 people. We've got night vision goggles. It's an incredible tour. But as you can see with Penguins Plus in the underground, you're right up in front of the penguins. And hopefully some of those people look a bit bored, but I'm sure everyone will be loving it, watching those penguins come ashore.
How can you be bored of that? Come on,
I've seen the penguins thousands of times, mate, as you know.
It's
and they're an incredible sight. Yeah,
I've seen it hundreds of times, and I can't get enough of them. Now
we normally do a little penguin talk, don't we?
we do. We're not going to
not tonight, George.
Not tonight. We're just a bit more civil at the moment here. Yeah. I understand you also run Churchill Island. Tell us about this place.
We do, George. So Churchill Island's actually another smaller island just off Phillip Island, and it's a beautiful little spot because it's a heritage island with some magnificent buildings on there, which have all been beautifully restored, loving gardens, but we use it as a working farm as well. So we do sheep shearing and working dogs and there's Highland cattle there. Whip cracking, and you can even milk a cow and that sort of stuff. But the gardens are beautiful, and there's a walking track takes you around the whole island. And it's a fantastic way to, just wind down a little bit. We do call it Time Unwinds, and you can take a stroll around the island. It's not very long. It's only a couple of miles long. And it's a beautiful way to spend a couple of hours, especially for those self-drive markets that have a bit more time than the day tours. Many of the day tours do stop here, which is great. And, we include that in our 3, 4 and 5 park passes. So it's a great product to sell and to provide their clients with, and, give them a bit more extra time to get out there and enjoy the beautiful surrounds of Phillip Island and, stay the night and enjoy beautiful beaches like Cape Woolamai and things like that.
Sounds like you have to stay a few nights. Wonderful insight.
At least one, George, maybe two.
Yeah. I'm loving it. I feel like staying again tonight. I might stay again tonight. It's such
Please
a great
do.
place. Well, thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you, George, and
very
thank
insightful.
you guys of the UK. And Claire, hello. Hi, Mum. And you guys all look after yourselves, and thank you again for all your support.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Stephen Peppard, thank you. Wrapping him up. And guess what, guys? On the island, not only there's nature and accommodation, wonderful wildlife. Speaking of wildlife, one of the best way to experience wildlife and marine wildlife is through a boat, through the Wildlife Coast Cruises boat. And with me today is Brianna Dickey, part of the family of the Wildlife Cruises. How are we?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, George?
Very, very exciting. And tell me more about Wildlife Coast Cruises and your boat tours.
Well, Wildlife Coast Cruises has been operating for about 25 years. We're a cruise company down in Phillip Island. We've got 3 vessels. So our 2 main vessels are sister ships. They are 20-metre catamarans. And yeah,
Looks great. Look at
They
that.
are,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. You've got whales.
whales. Yeah,
You can
definitely.
see whales.
We can. We
Oh.
can. That whale is doing a nice deep dive. You can see that on the Brianna Lee. Yes, that one's
Fantastic.
named after me.
And the seals. And look how many you see.
Yeah,
It's
thousands.
incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
How many thousand? Oh, wow. Look at that. What's this?
This is called Skull Rock. This
Yep.
is off Wilson's Promontory.
Oh,
It
wow.
is huge. You can see the difference in size from the boat to Skull Rock. It's amazing.
Looks like a natural wonder. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it
And
is, yeah.
I was seeing the whales before, and I noticed. I looked at your website. Not only do I see whales, you also have dolphin cruises with the whales.
We do, yeah.
Yes. Wow.
We've got a 4-hour cruise that will go around the whole of Phillip Island, passing the Nobbies and Seal Rocks. Quick visit to the seals, circumnavigating the whole island, looking for those whales. They are absolutely
amazing.
magnificent. Yeah.
And looking at the seals that on your cruise, how many seals are there out there?
On a daily basis, you'll probably see about 8,000.
8,000.
Yeah,
You're kidding
yeah.
me.
Just a little number.
Look at that. Wow.
Yeah.
Looks spectacular. That's off the Nobbies.
Yeah,
Yep,
so
yep.
that's Seal Rocks there itself. You'll see Black Rock on one side and
Yep.
Seal Rocks on the other side. Yeah, that's basically what you'll see on our seal watching cruises. We do get very, very close.
That looks quite spectacular.
Yeah, yep.
I can imagine the guys back in the UK going, "We need this. You
Oh,
need to include this in
definitely.
your program."
Yeah.
Especially when they come here and see the penguins, they can see this during the day,
They
experience
can,
this, and
yeah.
it's a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Now, what can people expect from your daily seal watching cruise?
So on our daily seal watching cruise, it will leave from the township of Cows.
Yep.
It's a bit dark, you can't see
Mm-hmm.
it now, but during the day you could have seen the Cows jetty behind me.
Yeah.
So that will leave at 2 p.m. It will go past some important historical points on Phillip Island.
Fantastic.
Out past the Nobbies and to
There
the
we go.
seals.
Look at
Sometimes we do get visits from dolphins and little penguins even.
You're joking. So you see penguins out
We
there
do sometimes
on the
see
way in.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sometimes we do see the little penguins.
That looks good. And there's the Nobby Centre over there. Everyone's really, really happy.
Yeah, and then there's the Nobbies itself and a beautiful sea cave that you'll see on our boat.
And all your boats are nice and safety. It's got all the
They are.
facilities and all that. Yeah.
Definitely, there's a onboard bar on board, which sometimes is important.
Yeah,
But yeah, definitely, we're trained in safety and first aid, and yeah. Well
No
trained.
problems. Well, obviously you're very, very proud of who you
Definitely.
work for. So your staff and your tour boats. Tell us about that. Your staff.
Yeah, our staff are very, very passionate people. They love what they do. They love seeing the seals every day. Whales, what we get to see is absolutely incredible. Definitely happy to do this job.
And
It's
looks like the staff are making sure all the customers are enjoying themselves.
definitely,
Look at those photos.
Yeah, definitely. We make sure all our staff are comfortable and happy, and make sure everybody's having a great time.
Brianna, I think you've convinced our UK agents and wholesalers that they're going to include the wildlife cruises
Definitely.
in their itineraries.
Hopefully.
Don't forget wildlife cruises. Thank you, Brianna.
Thank you so much, George.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Awesome. And coming up now, yes, she's the main lady here at Phillip Island because she's from Destination Phillip Island. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Pauline Bolton. How are we, Pauline?
Good, thanks, George. How are
Yes,
you?
good. I'm loving your island. I'm loving the facilities, the accommodation, the food, and all that. So, speaking of accommodation, I know Paul's mentioned it, but tell me your opinion on what you think will be a good accommodation here.
We have lots of accommodation available, George, for families, couples, and even for your extended family. Like Paul said, we have 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments, like here at North Pier and Phillip Island Apartments. We also have resort-style accommodation, and you can see the Phillip Island Apartments there with their beautiful pool and their bedrooms. We have caravans, yep. So as Paul said, hire an RV. We've got plenty of RV parks and holiday parks to enjoy. So that's certainly a family activity that you can do and enjoy as you come down. Oak Tree Lodge, as you said, is a luxury B&B, and we have a number of these on the island that you can for that more upmarket stay. So beautiful, appointed, beautiful B&Bs. We also have something a little bit special, which is Bimbadeen Farm. Now, this is a farm stay to have a farming experience, feeding chooks, collecting eggs while you're staying on the farm. Again, a family-run farm with these beautiful views, enjoying a wine on the
That looks
deck.
spectacular.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't go wrong there. Look,
No.
It's what's this?
So,
Glamping.
yeah.
Oh, you're joking.
No, we certainly
wow.
have. We have 2 glamping area sites. This is our bush site. So again, more upmarket. As you can see, a beautiful place to stay and enjoy.
Oh, that
Look at
looks
those
fantastic.
stars. Oh, absolutely. You cannot beat our southern skies.
Well, our UK customers do like their camping,
Yeah.
and glamping is the way to go, definitely.
Absolutely.
Now, we've been talking a lot about accommodation and the penguins and so forth here at Phillip Island. Tell us where a good place to eat around here.
Yeah, well, it's just finished dinner time here on Phillip Island. So, yeah, so lots of cafes and restaurants with local produce. Being an island, we have access to great seafood. So a lot of our cafes and restaurants are able to get that seafood. Also local produce. South Gippsland has great farming. So, yeah, a lot of our cafes and that have local produce. Also, we have beer, local wine and beer. Now, we all know we all like a beer in Australia. So these are some a tasting paddle at Rusty Water. They have something known as a pale ale, a koala pale ale to try. So again,
It's interesting. Seems like the only one in Australia.
oh yeah, probably. Absolutely. And our local wines, we have cool climate wines. So Phillip Island Winery is a great place to have some tastings and share a food board with your friends and family.
That looks amazing.
Yeah, a lot of our restaurants in Cowes have ocean view. So this is some of our Cowes foreshore restaurants. Again, that beautiful produce, all local. Clifftop is one of an amazing restaurant with spectacular views over Bass Strait. So yeah, a beautiful place to have lunch or breakfast.
Does it look? It looks affordable, does it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beauty with affordability.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's fantastic. I can't stop watching. This is amazing. I'm feeling hungry, even though I just had dinner.
Well, yes, dinner time's just finished, George. Absolutely. We're on to dessert now.
By the way, guys, it's almost 9 o'clock in the evening, so it's probably lunchtime where you are.
Yes.
So what else does Phillip Island offer?
So we have a number of family activities. So we have a chocolate factory. We're all talking about dessert.
Look at that.
Chocolate.
Oh, hello.
Absolutely.
As the Brits are saying.
So they make chocolate, play with chocolate. Great to have a hot chocolate made from actually chocolate. This is a waterfall. So yeah. Again, a beautiful place to visit for your family. Amazing Things is another attraction that we have for the family. Great place to have putt-putt golf. There's mazes, illusion parks, Magic Manor, and a sky trail where you can. This is a ropes course where you can get up high, up to 10 metres high, and enjoy that.
Look at that. That's awesome.
Another thing we have on Phillip Island is an international motorcycle track. We have MotoGP here.
Yes.
Yeah, every year. So amazing. So we have a smaller version that you can enjoy. It's a 750-metre track that you can go on these fast go-karts. So race your family and friends or just beat the clock. So again, something spectacular and something different to try.
So you've got a world-class sporting event here. You definitely have a world-class attraction as Phillip Island. You've got wonderful accommodation. Great places to eat. So, I mean, what more do you want?
Absolutely. Phillip Island has it all. We have over 100 kilometres of coastline, 4 national surfing reserves. So water activities to enjoy. So come for more than one day. You certainly need to stay overnight.
One of my favourite places is the Koala Conservation Centre too. So
absolutely.
I mean, we could go on forever.
We
but
could.
Thank you very much, Pauline. It is live streamed, so we have to move on. But thanks, Pauline,
George.
from Destination Phillip Island.
Thanks.
Ciao. All right. Well, I think we need to wrap it up, and we need to bring the main man back in, Mr. Paul Cooper. Come on. Well,
Thank you,
Paul,
George. Thank you.
So Sydney Melbourne Touring has some great partnerships, so you need to talk about this.
Oh, we certainly do. I mean, you've met some of our fabulous partners from Phillip Island today.
Yes.
We've also got some great corporate partnerships too, George. Big Four Holiday Parks have been a long-term partner of Sydney Melbourne Touring, and there's quite a lot of them between Sydney and Melbourne as well, I should add. The Murray Regional Tourism Board, of course, the magnificent Murray River is another great partner for Sydney Melbourne Touring. The New South Wales Caravan and Camping Industry Association. My voice is getting very croaky now. I think it's been a long day.
It has.
They've got caravan parks, of course, all over New South Wales, but their South Coast chapter, which is on our coastal drive, has their highest membership. So that's pretty awesome. And of course, we also have to say a very special thanks to THL, the Brits and the Maori camp events. We see them all the time, and as they've said to us before, the growth of campers being hired along for the coastal drive between Sydney and Melbourne is just awesome. So
and
we're very
not?
happy with our
Why
partners.
not?
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, you've got the coast, you've got the heritage drive, and open roads. Same side of the road too, guys. Don't forget. you drive. So why not do that? And plus, there's also other touring options. Now, tell us, Paul, and because Paul is the main production for this live stream, which is a really good effort on your behalf. So thank you, because this is our first one. What live streams are coming up?
Well, we thought while we're putting all this together, we'll try and get at least 3 done. So we're doing the live stream 1 a week for 3 weeks to see how they go.
Okay.
And we're really hoping to get some good feedback too from the people watching.
Dates?
Whether it's via emails or whatever.
Yep.
Well, the next one coming up is going to be Wednesday next week, starting at the same time.
Yep.
And it's going to be at a beautiful location called Jetty Road Retreat, which is
Okay.
in Gippsland. And it's sort of halfway between Lakes Entrance and Meetung, if you know the Gippsland area. And we'll be talking about all things Gippsland. Then that'll be on Wednesday next week.
Yes.
Then 2 weeks today, so Thursday in 2 weeks' time, we'll be at the absolutely magnificent Wilson's Promontory National Park, down with all the wombats and the emus and the wilderness retreats and the walking tracks and trails. George, we're really looking forward to that one too. It's just such a tough job working at Sydney Melbourne Touring.
It is a tough job.
Because every time I do I've been doing this for 10 years in
Yeah.
May. Can you believe? 10 years in May.
I mean, you're a bit of a legend in the UK too.
Every time I get in the car and do the drive, I still look out the window and go, "Wow, how lucky am I?" It is just awesome.
I think you're the main person when everyone thinks of Australian and touring and passion. You've got the Sydney Melbourne. You do your destination New South Wales trips. You do your Visit Victoria trips. You love everything about it. But I tell you what, I actually love Phillip Island. It's a must. So thank you very much, Paul, and thank you for producing this. And I hope you guys really enjoy it. Just remember, it's only 1.5 hours from Melbourne to drive, so it's not that far. You can come here for the day, but we highly recommend overnight. And thank you very much. And we hopefully will see you here in Australia at Phillip Island.
Absolutely.
See you later, guys.
Love you long time.